morning, everyone. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak today on behalf of the Department of Agriculture, Food and Marine on social farming. This is an initiative which the Department provided funding since 2015, and we're very committed to supporting it. Just to provide a brief background as to how the Department became involved in providing funding for this. The Commission for Economic Development of Rural Areas, a report commonly known as the CED report, you'll see the logo on some of the signs, suggested that there was significant economic potential in rural areas and recommended a number of actions by various government departments to support long-term development of rural Ireland. The CED report emphasised the role in particular of social enterprises in relation to their ability to create local employment opportunities, to get people into a work environment, and to build self and community esteem. Social farming, I think you'll agree, ticks all these boxes. So based on the report, the Rural Innovation and Development Fund came about, and its purpose was to basically address the recommendations in the CEDRA report. Since 2015, the fund has been utilised for a number of different initiatives, including support for female rural entrepreneurs through the ACORNS programme, agri-food related tourism initiatives, more recently the food waste reduction proposals, and most importantly, social farming, which is the focus of today's conference. Last year, we provided an allocation of 1.5 million under the Rural Innovation and Development Fund. And out of that amount, over 0.7 million was towards social farming. That's over 50% of the fund. So that will highlight the importance that the Minister for Agriculture, Food and Marine and the Department attaches to social farming. It's worth noting that social farming is also one of the key deliverables in the Government's Action Plan for Rural Development. As Jim said earlier, it's widely practiced throughout Europe, and we have seen significant growth in Ireland over the last number of years, and that's thanks to good work like organisations like the Leitrim Development Company. The funding provided by the Department to date has allowed for the award of a number of different contracts, some of which the LDC have been successful in, as well as the opening of the Social Farming Office by the Leitrim Development Company in 2015. One of the contracts was to design, develop and implement a social farming network across Ireland, involving all the stakeholders, from farmers, service providers, families and other agencies. And I met with LDC recently where they outlined the activities and the good work they've undertaken in this area. And I note from today that they've put a lot of good work has gone into the displays, which I'd actually encourage everyone to have a look at. They're excellent on some of the different farms throughout the country. One of the things I took from the meeting I had with the LDC was the benefits for the participants in particular and for society in general. And this is even reflected in the conference title. Today you'll see on your brochure, part of the title is called Changing Lives, which I believe is very apt. And I think everyone will agree that the overall experience of participants is positive, which makes the whole scheme very worthwhile. A further contract was then awarded to Leitrim Development Company following a tender process to identify a social farming best practice model. And this is the focus of today's conference, and Aisling will deliver some of the findings later on today. This project is in collaboration with UCD, and LDC and UCD have worked together on this in the area of social farming over the past 10 years, so they're well placed to deliver good results in this area. So I look forward to learning more about the preliminary findings from the research work carried out over the course of today. Just to sum up, the Department is committed to all of the initiatives under the Rural Innovation and Development Fund, particularly social farming. And we hope to continue to provide funding for it, and as I said earlier, it's included in some of the government action plans. Of course, this is subject to minister approval by our Minister. Thank you again for the opportunity to speak, and I hope we'll all take something from today's conference. Thanks.